Yeah, hey everyone. I was listening to a show or an uploaded video by Ticket TV. As I said, I am subscribed to his channel. He has fresh takes and he's a bit very opinionated. Doesn't mean just because you have opinions doesn't mean that your opinions aren't factual. I know they teach us in school that a fact is something that could be proven and an opinion is something that cannot be proven. Well, on his channel, he tends to talk about things that are going on in the legal realm. So he has to always often use the term allegedly. So therefore what he's saying could be factual, but it hasn't been proven. So it's viewed as opinions. Recently, he's been given his takes on the situations that have been going on with Coach Prime and Coach Deion Sanders, aka Deion Sanders. And it seems to me that every time something occurs with Deion Sanders, he already places Deion Sanders on a pedestal of one that is right, and anything that's viewed or has the potential to be something that could be crippling to Coach Prime is viewed as an attack, or they're trying to get him, or they're trying to bring him down. Ticket's recent post talks about allegedly a young woman, because as we all know, Coach Prime and his fiance that he's been engaged to for over a decade, Tracy Edmonds, they never got married, and of course the relationship is off. And according to reports, Tracy Edmonds is saying that she's the one that called it off because she wants to prioritize herself. I saw that today on my Google feeds. Ticket also said it, but I also saw it on my Google feeds as well. When things come out like that, we can become too protective and become highly conspiratorial when we start speaking. And when I say we, I'm putting all of us in the same category. But in particular, I'm talking about Ticket, and he says they're trying to get him. Now we have to ask the question, number one, who is they? And number two, why are they trying to get him? This is what I want to force you guys to start thinking critically. It's not that I'm a hater. Don't do that. Before you even coin me or identify me or put me in that pigeonhole or put me in that classification or in that bubble of being a hater, just consider what I'm trying to tell you guys for a second. When a man gets on YouTube, or anybody gets on YouTube, and they are emotional and they're giving you graphics, that's not appealing to your logic, that's appealing to your emotions. Because you'll see Ticket put graphics of Jason Whitlock with half-naked girls in his younger days, and then you'll see certain graphics that he puts on his screen as he's giving messages. When I say he, I'm talking about Ticket. That's a way to tug at the heartstrings of the audience. That's a way to get you to not think critically and to just get you to think with your emotions. Is that good or bad? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But what's more practical? When Coach Prime, aka Deion Sanders, decided to leave Jackson State and come to Colorado, were they trying to get him then? Because remember, Ticket's MO here is that they are trying to get him, that they, whoever they are trying to set up Coach Prime, or they are trying to bring him down. Were they trying to, who in terms of the language that Ticket is using, the day that you're talking about, were they trying to bring Coach Prime down when he was offered a job at Colorado? Now, if you say yes, they were trying to bring him down, then that means that this whole this whole defense that many of us have all leaned on in terms of defending Coach Prime at every turn becomes a moot point, because if him coming to Colorado was a setup to bring him down, then there's no use to defend anything that he does in Colorado in terms of the football team and how he coaches the football team. There'll be no reason to even talk about it or defend anything. Number two, if you say that Coach Prime coming to Colorado was not a setup, it was just a way for Coach Prime to elevate his career or move to the Power 5 conferences, then we have to also stick to that same logic. So it's all about contextualizing your argument and letting it lay out on a parallel trajectory. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that when things are parallel, it means that they all flow together. They may not flow in the same quadrant, but they flow together in terms of their trajectory, meaning that they all function with the same premise. So if you think that Coach Prime coming to Colorado was a setup, then that means that everything that he's done so far in Colorado has been a setup. And it means that even if we get on social media, or people who do get on social media who are defending Coach Prime vehemently, it means that it's just a moot point because it's been a setup from day one. He was brought to Colorado, and that was a setup. If you truly believe that there's a group of people, or there's a widespread manhunt to pull down Coach Prime, or to bring him down, or for him to have some sort of a precipitous downfall, then if you're looking at it from that avenue, then everything that he's done in Colorado is just useless. It's irrelevant. But then if you're going to take the more logical approach and say, hey, no, he came to Colorado because he's earned it. He coached well at Jackson State. He had the opportunity to go to a Power 5 conference and to elevate the status of his son, to possibly win a Heisman, and to expand his passion, or whatever his calling is supposed to be, according to Coach Prime. He's called to inspire young men and to work with the youth. And if you think it's the latter, which is what I just said, then you can't all of a sudden conveniently, when rumors are coming out saying that people are putting out there to bring him down. What's more possible? We have to look at things practically, right? What's more possible? A flamboyant coach, handsome looking by many people's metrics, flamboyant, flashy, full of charisma, charismatic, magnetic meaning that he attracts a lot of people, and he's in his mid-50s. Ideally, most men that are in their mid-50s or in their 50s, or getting close to 50, they typically do tend to lean towards the younger female. Now, before you guys start biting my neck off or tearing my head off, I'm not saying that any of the allegations against Coach Prime are true. I'm not saying that they're false either. But I want us to be balanced in when we're looking at things and consider where things are coming from. When a person gets on YouTube and they're giving you they're speaking emotionally. Like right now, I'm calmly just speaking. I'm not rah. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing anything to elicit an emotional response from you. I just want you guys to actually calm yourselves down, take a deep breath, and just consider what I'm telling you. Don't use the term hater. Don't call out names. Don't already have your preconceived notions of what you believe I am or what you think I am. We have to look at things from a mathematical perspective. What's more probable? What's more possible based upon the dynamic of the human experience? We understand that most men who are older are attracted to younger women, and most younger women are attracted to older men because they like the security factor of the older man. They like the maturity of the older man. And the older man loves the younger woman for obvious reasons, due to the visual, the pleasures that the man can receive from his optics, from looking at her beauty, and things that he can experience with her from a physical standpoint, intimately. So, is it far-fetched that Coach Prime wouldn't look to a younger woman? Especially considering the fact that Tracy Edmonds just recently stated that I had to prioritize myself. She's been with this man for 11 years, 10 or 11 years. They've been engaged that long. I don't know how long they've been together, but I know they've been engaged for about 10, 11 years. Why all of a sudden do you just decide to prioritize yourself? You didn't think to prioritize yourself in the first 5, 6, 7, 8 years? Something had to have happened for her to get that epiphany where she's awakened and saying to herself, like, oh, I need to look out for myself all of a sudden. And yeah, I got to prioritize myself. Were you not thinking about prioritizing yourself before? So something happened. And Ticket is under the impression that this is the media's doing, and that Tracy Edmonds is biting the bait rather than being quiet. Now that the fact that she said that I had to prioritize myself is going to insinuate to people that there's something that Coach Prime has done. Well, that's just how things work. If usually when breakups occur, usually the both parties, especially if the people are in the public's eye, they usually try to break up amicably and try to do it as peaceful and calmly as possible, because you do not want to draw extra attention to you and your family and your personal life or things like that. So of course in the beginning the breakup was just peaceful, but we all know that as time passes on, certain things are going to come out. Something happened. It's not that people are trying to set up Coach Prime. You got to understand, Tracy is an individual too. It's not all about Coach Prime. It's about her too. For her to make that statement about I had to prioritize myself, Prime has always been about the youth, and she's always been with him. Prime is coached, and she still was always there. Ticket's perspective is that now that he came to Colorado, he's given more time to Colorado. He couldn't invest time into her, so now she has to prioritize herself. No. This woman has been with Prime before he got to this biggest ambition that he's received. Because Coach Prime coming to Colorado is his biggest, aside from him playing in the NFL and playing in Major League Baseball, but post sports career, the move to the Power 5 conference is probably one of his biggest accomplishments. So why would she leave then? Why would she not stay? She's always stayed before. Every advancement that he's had post his playing days, she's always been there. You know, they had to travel to see each other. So this is not some conspiracy theory about bringing Coach Prime down. I think that is a strong possibility that he could have had a relationship or seen someone that was younger. It's possible. It happens to all men. I don't care who you are. I don't care how spiritual you think you are. Biology triumphs spirituality, because biology and spirituality are commingled as one. You can't separate the two. A man has to be able to regulate himself by self-meditation, not looking out externally for some power outside of you to control you. You have to be the one to harness the power to control yourself. And how you do that is by looking within and not looking outside. Because when you look outside, you're looking without. You're lacking. Blind leading the blind. That's what I call it. This happened to the best of men. And Ticket says the idea that if he was talking to a young IG model, that it would have been exposed a long time ago, that cameras follow Prime around a lot. Well, the cameras that follow Coach Prime are the cameras that he wants to follow him, because he has a promotional team with Smack Productions that's co-founded by what's that football guy's name? They used to play football for the Giants. He used to be Michael Strahan. He's the co-founder. I forgot who the actual founder is. So everything that Prime does is for production and branding. This is why we have a documentary that's out on Amazon Prime right now. So he's not a victim, folks. This idea that people are trying to get him, that's not the case. Coach Prime loves the attention. He brings the attention upon himself. And that comes with certain consequences. That comes with certain things when you demand that type of attraction and you demand that type of attention. So I don't want you guys to just start I'm not saying that I'm right or Ticket is wrong or Ticket is wrong and I'm right. That's not the point. The point is that I want you guys to be balanced. Don't consider that scenario to be oblivious or something that can never happen or something that can't happen to Coach Prime. And this is why Jason Whitlock can sometimes, this is what you guys do to give people like Jason Whitlock the leg room to actually insert his opinion by calling you guys idol worshipers of Coach Prime. You have to look at him like any other 56-year-old man. And not just any, a man that's popular with money. Most men that are older will go for younger women. He doesn't have to come out and defend himself. Because I know people who say, well, if it was a lie, he would have came out and said something. I mean, if it was true, he would try to come out and defend himself. It is whether Coach Prime speaks about this or not, that's irrelevant to the topic at hand. The point I'm making here is that don't listen to people. You can listen to whoever you want to listen to, but take their messages with a grain of salt. People who are trying to elicit an emotional response from you by using graphics and using their expressions of emotions to get to you. I'm not doing that. I don't have any graphics here. It's just me talking in my car. There's nothing here that's going to move you emotionally. I'm not going to, why did I get you wrong? I'm not overly passionate about Coach Prime, but I'm not overly against him either. I'm just trying to remain balanced and factor in many other variables that are at play. We know, and it doesn't matter how much you look up to somebody. When you start to view people as heroes, you start to idolize people, we tend to actually ignite blinders. We actually erect blinders, which causes us to not see certain things that are there because we don't want to believe that those things could be true, because we would be heartbroken if the truth was revealed. If the truth was revealed, let's say it was revealed that he was having an affair with a younger woman, and that's why Tracy Edmonds left. What would you guys do then? Oh, well, he's a man like any. Then we start to bring down the bar. Then the bar begins to be lowered. Oh, he's a man. No one's perfect. But I want you guys to harness that same mindset within the paradigm of the frailties of humanity, because we're all frail. We're all broken. We're all able to be broke. We're all capable of being broken. We're all weak-minded at times. So take that same dynamic and that same paradigm and inject it into the Coach Prime situation. Just look at him like anybody else, any other human. I don't care how many times he talks about God and his calling. That I don't listen to that. I watch what you do, and I look at the tendencies of the human proclivity. Just look at how human beings normally act. Most older men do go for younger, attractive women. And as you can see, Coach Prime has a type. Most of the women that he's dated are attractive. But in his age, as he's getting older and he's making more money, it's not taboo. It's not an outlier for a younger woman to find Coach Prime or Coach Prime to find a younger woman. This is around the age where older men do start seeking the women in their 20s. It is what it is. Is it true? I don't know. I don't have enough evidence or proof to say so. But what I do want you guys to do is not to think that there's some group or there's some larger conspiratory coup at play where people are getting together to bring down Coach Prime. No one brings down Coach Prime. If anybody brings down Coach Prime, it's going to be Coach Prime that brings himself down, because you're being watched. The more attention that's put on you, you have to be very careful with what you do. You're not a regular man. You're a man that's known by a lot of people. And so your walk has to be very, very tight. Your journey to your destination has to be very disciplined. And it's okay if you fall short sometimes, but if you want to live that perfect life or strive for that perfection, then you have to remove the attention from your eyes to allow yourself to grow when you make those mistakes. See, it's hard to grow when you're caught in a trap and you've been exposed for something that you've sold something that you've not sold to the public. You've sold to the public that you're a God-fearing man, that you're following God, you wear your crosses and your chains, you're all about the youth, you're all about prayer, you're all about God, you're all about this, you're all about that. Well, then if you do something that's contrary to that because all the cameras are on you, because you've brought that attraction to yourself, well, there's going to be a balancing act that occurs. Some people call it karma. Some people call it the balancing of the universe. It means that with all the attention that you received when you were on top, you're going to get equally the same amount of attention in a negative light. So it's going to pull you down even harder, but it's going to balance you out. It's part of being humble. That's when the universe humbles you, and you have to accept it. So I want you guys to consider that the things that are being, the rumors that are being sort of spread about Coach Prime, don't dismiss them totally. They could be true. They could be true. They could be true. And don't attack people just because they are considering that it could be true. Like, again, we're not saying it's true because we don't know. But is it likely that could be true? Yeah, it's likely. It's likely. Because you have to look at the timeline. Tracy Edmonds leaves. Rumors, young girl in the picture. That's how that's how it happens. That's how most relationships are exposed, is that there's one person in the relationship that's not giving it all because their mind is divided with who they're with and with somebody else that's in the picture, and therefore it becomes a jealousy, a selfish, a priority kind of thing that goes on, and that people have to start looking out for themselves. So that statement by Tracy Edmonds is very telling. I have to prioritize myself because he's prioritizing himself. I have to prioritize myself. There's nothing that Prime has done differently all these years. All he's done was coach and care about the youth, and she's always been there. So you have to ask yourself, what's the difference? What could have occurred that's been different, that could be interjected into their relationship that would cause Tracy to say, hey, I gotta prioritize myself. Only a woman will cause you to do that. She never had a problem with Coach Prime traveling and doing what he did with his job. I mean, they had arrangements. They would fly and see each other. Tracy Edmonds has been well aware of that. Even if he got a job at Colorado, doesn't mean that, oh, I'm so focused on Colorado that now she can't take it. No. A woman who's with a man that long and decides to leave after a decade is because of another woman. That's what I think. That's my opinion. I'm not saying just because that's my opinion that Coach Prime was actually seeing a young 20-something-year-old IG model. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just letting you know from what I've experienced and what I've seen that usually that's the case. So I want you guys to keep that into your mind and consider that rather than pushing back so much and being so overly defensive of Coach Prime. And don't allow people on YouTube to use graphics and their emotional rants to woo you into their cipher or woo you into their frequency, where you get so caught up into, people are hating against Coach Prime kind of thing. Just sit back and think and strive to be balanced. All right, thank you guys for listening. All right, bye.